After tackling the complexity of the merge sort, the heap sort is here intentionally in the middle as kind of a little after dinner mint to get you refreshed and revitalized before you jump into the next big meal, which is um, going to be the quick sort. But the heap, at its essence, you have an array, you put stuff in a heap, and you pull it back out and put it in order. That's fundamentally what needs to happen. If you're doing this in Java, there's a priority queue you can use as a helper to make this happen. If you're doing it in C, you can actually do heap features on the array in its current location. You can just do a couple quick commands. So you can actually do this in 2 or 3 lines of code. You're welcome to do it in that way as well. This is this is a lot. This is probably number 5 or 6 of the sorting you're doing, and you might want to just be wrapping it up. And it's okay to do this one quickly and easily. We mostly want to have it available for testing later on. But if you really do want to tackle the heap sort and build it in your own, you can do it whichever way you want to. But just want to be clear, my expectation is to use the existing tools along the way. So if I do use the existing tools, I have my array coming in sorting fun. And I would take that one at a time and add that into the heap, which boom looks like this. I don't necessarily want to go through all of it, but if you remember, if I put the S in, the S starts up top. I put the O in, it goes at the next location, and the S and O gets swapped as it swims up to the top. The R would come over here, the T would come over here, the I would come over here, and it bubble all the way up to the top. Uh, the N would come here and it would bubble up with the R. Um, at this point, the G comes, oops, the G would come over here, bubble up. Um, and then F comes over here, bubbles all the way up. U comes here, stays there. Uh, and N comes here and bubbles up here. If you did it all by hand, it should end up looking like this. I may or may not have corrected it by now, but there was an error in one of the videos on heaps beforehand. But this is what the heap would essentially look like. You end up in this, relatively speaking, sorted order. But then, when I'm all said and done with this, I can pull that back out one at a time, and I can truly have my sorted value show up, and then replace over the values one at a time in that array. So again, not a hard one, not a bunch of details going on. If you want to know more about the heap and building the heap, you'd probably be better off using those heap videos. But the great part about this is we get to use an existing data structure. And we have options there. We can either copy it into a new location and then bring it back, or we can just do it in place, depending on what language we're using, what features we write. You can integrate your code all at once as well if you want to build your own. So it's a very effective sorting mechanism, being able to put it together in a nice data structure and pull it down. It does mean we're touching all the items again, but we're putting them into a structure that makes it really easy to retrieve them. So it's not as painful because we're touching them, but we're touching them light and quickly and getting them back. All right, so that is it for all I'm going to talk about for the heap sort for now. Go off and build it right now, knock it out, get it done. But then we're going to come back and talk about the quick sort, which just takes a little bit more time, a little bit more energy. It's the last of the big detailed sorts we're going to talk about.